The Pope has arrived in Madrid among wildly cheering crowds of young pilgrims, and his message, root yourselves firmly in Christ, young people, and build up the kingdom. But that's not all that happened after the Pope arrived. We'll have more for you coming up next in Catholic News Roundup.
Hello everyone and welcome to this edition of Catholic News Roundup. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. As you just heard from Michael Voris, who is in Madrid for World Youth Day coverage with our team from RealCatholicTV.com, the Pope has arrived amid throngs of wild support and equally loud detractors. Michael is standing by now in Madrid with further details. Mike, how are things going out there?
That's right. Hello, Matthew. Well, the Pope arrived in the city center of Madrid yesterday evening around 7 p.m., and it was as raucous as you might imagine. One of the things we wanted to do here is show the street-level version of things and different events, the kind of unvarnished view of what it looks like on the ground from the perspective of being in the crowd, sort of the average pilgrim. So as you can see from this video, this is the experience of most World Youth Day pilgrims, wild throngs, packed in tight, waiting hours and hours for that elusive view of the Vicar of Jesus Christ. And depending on where you are standing, on the motorcade route, for example, you may get just a glimpse, because sometimes that Pope-mobile gets into high gear and it can move out. The Holy Father seemed enlivened by the throngs. His voice was exceptionally clear and strong. He spoke to the assembled masses in many languages as usual, and it is clear that for him, he is their Father and they are his spiritual children. Now, continuing with our theme of From the Pilgrim's Perspective, we wanted to show you this video as well. A few hours after the Pope left the city center and the sun had set, an incredibly beautiful procession took place a few blocks away, starting at the cathedral and marching right into Plaza del Sol, where all the anti-Pope demonstrations were the night before. A special squad from the Spanish army carried a gigantic crucifix on their shoulders through the streets as thousands lined those streets singing and chanting, "Viva Cristo Rey!" There was heavy police presence in case the anti-Pope crowd threatened the faithful again, but fortunately, unlike the night before, this time there were no incidents, but just a massive old-world demonstration of authentic Spanish Catholicism, strong, vibrant, militaristic, triumphant, and unafraid. Some of the younger men in the crowd who were not Spanish had never seen anything like this before, especially the English speakers. Afterward, they were talking and said they had had all the same reaction, an intense feeling of strength and pride and belonging. In short, manhood. And of course, Matt, having the Pope here in Madrid has evoked strong reactions on the part of the church haters. And last night, the church militants showed up, and it was awesome to behold. One of the young fellows who was with us at the anti-Pope demonstration saw some of the anti-Pope demonstrators who call themselves the indignados, the indignant. The younger fellows saw them, a few of them skulking away after this great, beautiful procession of Catholicism, and said quietly to us, sort of jokingly, "Not so tough now, are you, huh?"
Excellent, Mike. What's on tap for the rest of the weekend?
Tonight, Matt, the Pope will lead the pilgrims on the way of the cross through the streets. Tomorrow, he will be hearing confessions, and Sunday morning, of course, is the huge million-plus person Holy Sacrifice of the Mass. A very jam-packed weekend. Back to you in the studio.
Be sure and check out Michael's Vortex today, where he talks about the community of faith that so many young people feel and are forming in Madrid. We'll be back in just a few seconds with other news.
Catholic News Roundup is brought to you in part by NewOxfordReview.org, the voice of Catholic Orthodoxy, in print and on the web, and RenewAmerica.com, expanding the influence of America's grassroots in the cause of freedom.
More social media persecution. The teacher of the year in a Florida school district is being punished for exercising his rights to free speech on Facebook after he criticized same-sex marriage legalization in New York. Jerry Buell is a long-time member of Mount Dora High School and a former teacher of the year who is now being slammed by the media and thrown out on his ear for publicly posting his disagreement with homosexual marriage. Buell, a married man, says in his post he was eating dinner when he heard about the new law in New York and almost threw up, going on to say, quote, "Don't insult a man and a woman's marriage by throwing it in the same cesspool as same-sex whatever." God will not be mocked. When did this sin become acceptable? End quote. He has been put on administrative leave and awaits a hearing by the local school board. You can read the full story on our resource page by clicking the link right over here. Catholic College invites Dissent, a homosexual activist who specializes in promoting deviant lifestyles, is joining the faculty of a Catholic college in Andover, Massachusetts. Susan Marine, responsible for creating a task force at Harvard, recommending the creation of a director's position for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, and queer students, has announced that she will be leaving the Ivy League school to take a director's position at Catholic Merrimack University. Merrimack claims on its website to be a school upholding the Augustinian tradition, which would more than just suggest some adherence to Catholic teaching. Marine's bio on Harvard's website explains her expertise as, quote, developing effective initiatives for the support of transgender and other gender-variant college students, end quote. You can read the full article on our resource page by clicking the link right over here. Little girl lingerie. Parents can now buy provocative lingerie for little girls as young as 4 from a French fashion designer currently under fire for trying to sexualize children. TheBlaze.com reports that her photo shoot includes young girls between the ages of 4 and 11 scantily dressed in provocative poses. Fashion writer Melissa Rocco of the New York Daily News says, quote, it's inappropriate to sexualize children. A pearl-encrusted triangle bra on a little girl does not sit well with me, end quote. Similar controversy has come up several times over the past year. Fashion magazine Vogue's spread of a 10-year-old model laying out and staring with a sultry look into the camera, and Abercrombie & Fitch's effort to sell a push-up bikini to girls aged 7 through 14. You can read the full article on our resource page by clicking the link right outside the screen, but we must warn you that the pictures in the article and on the designer's website are of a disturbing and graphic nature. I'm Matthew McAuliffe. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure and tune in tomorrow for your daily dose of Catholic News Roundup right here on RealCatholicTV.com. And to close the show, Mike is here with more of what we can expect from coverage of World Youth Day. Mike, what's on tap next?
Just a quick reminder to check out our NoBullinMadrid.com website, where you'll find all our full coverage of news, Vortex, and our World Youth Day special reports each day. Today's topic for the feature is a history of Holy Communion in Spain and some little-known information about Holy Communion in the hand. Be sure and catch this. God bless you.